Welcome, everybody, to an exciting edition, but a two-thirds edition. I like to call these ones the two-thirds editions because we're not actually three full Village Geeks going on right now. You have the two wrestling experts, and I use that term very loosely. The two wrestling...
Yeah, I'm going to say that I know a little bit more.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So he's the expert. I'm the semi-expert. I'm going to coin a phrase right there, semi-expert. But we have the two Village Geeks talking WWE 2019 Extreme Rules pay-per-view, even though I don't think pay-per-view is a term they use anymore. But I am PS Rocket.
Jedi Morton.
We're happy that you joined us. We're going to go over the card, run through it. There's 10 confirmed matches as of today, which will probably be the final card since it's only a couple days away.
7/13.
What do you mean 7:13?
Today's date.
Oh, so today's 7:30. I thought you said 7:30, like that was the time. I'm like, when the heck did I get in here? That is not the time right now. Maybe the time you're listening to this. So let's run. So we're going to do like we did. We did this for Stomping Ground. We've done this for most of the cards. This is what I like. I just want to go through the matches. Let's say our opinions on it. We'll make our predictions and then, move on with our lives. That's usually how things work. So let's start at the bottom of the card, and I usually read this right off of Wikipedia, so this is not the lineup of the card. This is I think this was just how the matches were announced, but it could be anything. So let's start right out of the gate. We have the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships being put on the line. Tag team match between the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, which is way harder to say when you have not practiced saying both of their names, which I have because I think I stumbled the last time. And then we have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso. What do you like about this match, Morton? Give me an idea here.
I think it's going to be a high flyer match. I think it's going to be a fast paced match, and I'm giving it to the Usos.
Okay, so we have the Revival of the champs.
Yeah.
We can establish this now. I always have a hard time saying who are the tag team champs.
It's not
Hawkins and Ryder.
Yeah,
I know that. That's now my official running joke now with these things because I have no idea who the tags, and I just assume that they're Hawkins and Ryder. But the Revival are the champs. Here's the thing, especially Raw, they have a very stacked division of tag team wrestling teams, which is actually very unusual because they usually are real thin on tag teams because they break them up so often. But I think a tag team that is not on this card that I think will be making an appearance hopefully soon and putting themselves in the championship picture is the Viking Raiders. Even though they started out of the gate with really stupid names that changed every single week, we finally have them established as the Viking Raiders. They were awesome in NXT. I think they've been awesome as War Machine back on the Indies.
Okay.
By the way, side note, I actually met, and I know my dad used to work with one of the Raiders. I think their names are like Isaac and something like that, but it's the guy's name's Rowe. His last name is Rowe. My dad actually used to work with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I came. He did a few indie shows here in Houston that I saw, and he was like the main event. So actually, all his tattoos and everything, I actually saw those are legit. Even though I don't think if you thought that the tattoos were fake, but like they were legit. He was a super nice guy too, and he didn't have a beard when I knew him either. He was actually clean shaven. So that's a full man's beard. How the heck did I get off on that subject? What were we talking about?
Them possibly making an appearance.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought I just rambled on about the Viking Raiders or the Viking Experience, whatever kind of stupid name you want to call them.
Viking something or another.
Yeah, there's Vikings in there, guys. They're Vikings. Let's establish that. I think it's going to be a solid match. I think Usos. I would agree with you. I think the Usos we're gonna change hands here. I don't think the Revival. I don't think they're a strong enough tag team. They're awesome. I've always been a fan of the Revival, but as your belt holders, I think Jimmy and Jay are a lot more interesting. They're a lot more over. I think the characters they are right now are solid. So I'm going to give it to Jimmy and Jay also. So we have our first title change.
Okay.
Controversy. Starting out right out of the gate with a title change. And that's just a regular match, by the way. So Extreme Rules is a very watered down version of what it used to be. It's not like the 2009 or 2010 Extreme Rules. Even I don't know if there was any Extreme Rules back then. But when they say Extreme Rules, it's not that extreme. This is not ECW. This is not WWE 1999. This isn't
not one night stand.
Exactly. Like this is kind of like the furthest they can probably push, but won't push that far, which is fine. You want to keep wrestlers safe. It's not bloodshed out there. So I'm okay with that. So some of these matches are just traditional, but then we got like this next match here. This is Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley again for about the 70th time. And this is a last man standing match. So cool thing about last man standing matches, obviously no disqualification. You can go anywhere. It's basically like a falls count anywhere. It's just whoever is going to lie for 10 seconds. I don't say this is a problem with these matches, but again, it's kind of like when they did the arm wrestling. There's only one real way to end these matches. And I think it's going to be like a double count out kind of deal. Because I think they're going to carry this further. Really, they don't have anything for Braun right now. And they put on good matches. Like Braun and I know I knock him and I say, oh, this is the 70th time. But like they put on pretty good matches and they work well together.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find someone to work with Braun because he's so damn big. So it's like to get, someone almost of equal size. Bobby Lashley's a big dude. But I think they work together just fine. So last man standing, I think it's going to be something along the lines they're going to take a huge bump off the stage or off some big thing or get on top of the building and fall off it. And they're both going to be down for the 10 seconds. Or maybe somebody jumps up real quick. By the way, we didn't establish where is Extreme Rules taking place. Not that anybody cares, but let's take a look. Ooh, in Pennsylvania. Really, in Philly.
ECW.
That is a hostile crowd right there. Wow. If I was WWE, I would never, ever play in Philadelphia. I know that's like one of the largest cities in the United States, but that is a rough
Chicago.
crowd. Or Chicago, yeah. That would be my second one. Like, it's more fun from a fan's perspective because you get to see them just rip into these wrestlers because we're not fooled. Like, we are full-on marks. But, man, that is a rough place to take it in. And Roman Reigns is on the card, too. Holy crap. This is fun, guys. I already like this already. That's like the only time I would actually care where they're at. Oh, it's touchscreen. Sorry. You already said that. I forgot, man. So that's where I think that's going to end. Last man standing, some big spot, and they're both down, double count out.
I'm actually going to give it to Lashley.
Oh, okay. Why would you give it to Lashley?
I think that the heels need a push right now, and I think this would be the biggest pop on the card or one of the biggest pops. So I'm actually going to give it to Lashley.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I'm not partial to pick anybody on that. That's why I like the double count out, and I think it keeps them both strong.
I was also going to ask this: is Little Rush or Lilo Rush still part of Lashley, or is he gone?
That's a good question. I thought he had like domestic abuse or something like that. Like,
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
And if he hasn't, I'm sorry. I don't mean to soil your name, buddy. I could have swore I read that somewhere, and that's why he's not really. They're not talking about him as much. He's not listed as here as with the manager or anything.
Okay, then.
So I don't know. Somebody look into that. I'm sorry. If you're happily married and have never hit your wife, then I'm sorry if I soiled your name for the 6 or 7 people that are going to listen to this. All right, so we got Ricochet as United States Championship. This is just your traditional singles match. Ricochet is your U.S. champion against AJ Styles, and holy crap, that is a card right there. I mean,
I called it last time. I said that Ricochet was going to win the title.
Yeah. So he's your champ. He's going in against AJ Styles. I don't know how this match could not be a 4.5, 5-star match. I mean, these guys are some of the very, very best in the business right now. I think they gel well. They've had history before, even outside WWE. So I'm looking forward to this, man. And for anybody that's like just interested in traditional wrestling, not so much a story aspect, because I don't really know the backstory behind all this, but just to see those two, I think that's going to be very entertaining. If they have enough time, if WWE gives them enough time, which it is AJ Styles, so I think WWE will be generous with his time. I think if they have a good 15, 17-minute match, I think it's going to be solid, man. Might be match of the night. Ooh, excuse me.
I agree with you that it's going to be match of the night. I'm also going to say if AJ wins, he cheats.
With his buddies.
Yeah, with the club, because they reformed and AJ turned heel.
Yes. Gallows and Anderson. I'm jacked about that. I don't think they're ever going to call it. They can't call it the Bullet Club. I don't think that's.
No, that's why last time around they just called it the club.
The club, yes. Just stupid. If you can't call it the Bullet Club, don't just take a word from it. Like, call it something completely else. Like, we know what it is. You don't have to like kind of be sneaky about it. No, it's the club, guys.
I'll give you another good reference to that.
Sure.
When NWO got reformed and Impact Wrestling, they were known as the Band.
The Band. That's right. Yeah, with Nash and X-Pac and Hall.
Yeah,
the Band.
They couldn't call it NWO, but so they just called it the Band.
That's almost as stupid as that sounds, and I'm sure it was stupid at the time.
It was.
And in 2019, it's still stupid.
Yes.
All right, so I think. Oh, by the way, I would say, since I really didn't make a prediction, I would say Ricochet retains. You say if you have interference, then AJ gets the belt.
Yeah. Otherwise, Ricochet retains.
Yeah, I like Ricochet as the champ. Like I said, it's the guys that were in NXT. This is like the handoff belt. Like they start with the US, and maybe if everything goes well, they move forward with that. So I think Ricochet retains. I'm okay with that. All right, so we got another singles match that shouldn't really be just a traditional singles match. I think they could have had fun with this one. It could have been a tables match or something. It could have been a freaking steel cage match. I don't know. But we have Aleister Black and Cesaro. And I think those are like two very big, heavy-hitting guys. And Cesaro's, I guess, I know Sheamus got injured really bad, so Cesaro's kind of doing another singles run. So So as far as like predictions, I think Aleister Black's going to get this. I don't think there's any issues with that. But I'm kind of disappointed that it's just kind of a regular match. Why you have it on an Extreme Rules card and it's not an Extreme Rules match? That's kind of my argument with a lot of these different matches. Like, why would any of these matches be singles matches? It's the Extreme Rules card. Like, that's kind of the purpose of it, right?
Right.
Unless I'm crazy. I'm not crazy, Morton. Do you think so?
No, but I do think that if you were to have like a tables match, then a ladders match, and then a falls count anywhere match, no disqualification, it would drain the fans.
Maybe. Especially in Philly.
Yeah. So I think that you throw in just a normal match in there, it gives the chance for the fans to recharge.
And I'm not saying that the match is suffering because it's not an Extreme Rules match, because I think Cesaro and Aleister are going to do great. I would put them. They may steal the show. I mean, I say Ricochet and AJ are going to be the best match. I mean, they could do even better. So I'm totally okay with that. I think Aleister gets the win. There's not really a reason for Cesaro to get the win.
I think because this is going to be Aleister's first match since he got moved to SmackDown.
Right.
I think I agree with you. I'm going to go with the Aleister winning.
Okay, fair enough. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah.
So let's go to a triple threat tag team match, which is always a mess. I don't like these, man. I don't like multiple tag team matches. And I think I've said that before on these podcasts. I just don't like them, man. They're just messy, and they don't make a whole lot of sense. Well, triple threat tag team. Okay, so 3 have to be in at one time. Okay, maybe it's the one where there's like 4 tag team matches, but only 2 people are fighting at any one time.
Yeah.
Those are kind of stupid.
But I agree with you. My favorite match where it's multi-tag teams, it's when it's TLC.
Oh, yeah.
Ladders, tables, chairs, you got the belts up top, and you have like 4 or 5 teams involved in that. That's just a good match because there's going to be a holy bleep moment.
Like, it's just spots. That's all that match is. It's just nothing but spots, and that's great. It's like a Dalmatian. That's going to be my catchphrase now. That match was like a Dalmatian. Nothing but spots. So we got that's a stupid phrase. Don't make me use that again. Trademark. It sounded good for a second, and then I thought it out and like, oh, wow, that's really stupid. Don't do that. So this is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, which I do know the champions on this one. It's probably the only one I've kept up with.
Who are the champs?
So it's Daniel Bryan and Rowan, and I'm happy because you know what? Daniel Bryan and Rowan are almost completely identical people, but they work so well together. Like, I'm okay with that. I think they're great. And especially in height-wise, because Rowan's a big dude. So those are your champs. They're going up against New Day, which is Big E and Xavier Woods, obviously, because Kofi's a little busy. And Heavy Machinery, I think they are the stupidest tag team. I got really...
Let it out, Joel. Let it out.
I'm not saying it's Shane McMahon levels of hate, but I really cannot stand Heavy Machinery. And for really dumb reasons, and reasons that are just so nitpicky that I would even be annoyed both myself if I heard it. But, like... It's my argument with Tucker. It's Otis and Tucker, and Otis is the guy. I've described him before. He's like huge. He's like your size, man, but he's got like little tiny arms, and he could probably bench press a building. He's super strong, legitimately strong. And then there's freaking Tucker. And I'm sorry, you do not look like a big guy. You do not, nothing about you is intimidating. And I realize if you heard this, you could probably kick my ass. I'm totally okay with that. I'm not a wrestler, okay? But I cannot stand that tag team. I'm sorry. I'm just so annoyed by them. And it's like, I'm okay with comedy tag teams. Like, remember when, who was the guy that, who am I trying to think of? Comedy tag team. Like the quintessential comedy tag team. It was in the Attitude Era. The guy that did the Worm. Remember? And then...
Scotty Too Hottie. Grandmaster Sexy. Too Cool.
Too Cool. There you go. Too Cool. That is a comedy tag team. Did they ever win the tag team belts? I don't think so.
I'll give you a more recent one. Back when they had Curtis Axel and Damian Mizdow or whatever his name was. And they Curtis Axel went in as Hogan because it was Axelmania.
Axelmania, yes.
Yeah.
And then Sando went in as, was it Macho Man?
Yeah. He went in as Macho Man and others.
So comedy tag team, good, funny, not to be taken serious. Here's the thing. I think Heavy Machinery is honestly trying to be taken serious, and I think it's stupid.
It's backfiring.
Yes. So I'm just not a fan. And here's the thing. I didn't like them in NXT. And it's usually the other way around. It's usually you love them in NXT, and then, they go to the main card and they suffer for it. I didn't like them in NXT. There's actually been NXT teams and wrestlers that I've not liked. But then when they go to the card, I can appreciate them. But Heavy Machinery, I just spent like 2 minutes bashing Heavy Machinery. And you know what? They're going to win the damn belts, too. And then I'll have to come back here and even rant some more.
Be nice to see Big E and Xavier win.
I would enjoy that, because then we got like a stable of champions. It's like the Shield when they did that, like when all the members had belts. You know, Dean Ambrose was the U.S. and the other two were the tag team champions. I think that's cool. if it doesn't happen, it's kind of further proof that WWE is trying to separate themselves from Kofi and Big E and Xavier. Not to say if they don't win, that's the direction they're going, but that's kind of the hint that I would get is if they don't win the belts, then it's kind of, if they win the belts, then you got the New Day as all belt champions, and that's kind of like what you move forward with. But in all honesty, I think this is still Bryan and Rowan. I think they're still going to retain. At least through SummerSlam. Maybe something changes before that. But I'm still picking Bryan and Rowan to win. I think they've been a great tag team. They've been entertaining. Like I said, they're total opposites, and I think they've meshed very well. So I'm giving it to them.
My thinking is if Bryan and Rowan retain, they drop them at SummerSlam.
Sure. I can give them that. All right, so we got a singles match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championships. It's the championships you don't care about. But I do, guys, and I like you guys. And even though I don't get your names right all the time, I think you're awesome wrestlers and you do performances very well. And I'm sorry that WWE does not feel that way about you.
You used to have Cruiserweight titles on Raw.
Yes.
Or matches on Raw. I don't remember the last time there was a Cruiserweight match on Raw.
And that's kind of the frustrating. And this is going to be, this is obviously going to be pre-card. I don't see this on the main card. Main card's pretty crowded anyway. You got 10 matches to try to squeeze in there. So this is Drew Gulak, who is your current champion. He actually just won it at Stomping Ground. And against Tony Nese. I'm not even going to try to announce. They had the triple threat, and the other guy, he was the Asian guy. And I'm sorry, I cannot. If I'm not looking at your name, I cannot even think about it. But they had the triple threat, and Gulak actually won. But you could tell Gulak and Tony Nese, those are like that's like your guys in that division. So I'm glad they're getting a match. I think they're going to do a good job. I think Gulak retains. I think he just won in Stomping Ground, so it'd be weird to take it off him. But I honestly think I'm a big fan of Tony Nese. Like the first time I actually got to witness a full Tony Nese match was WrestleMania.
Right.
And I watched the full card with the pre-show and everything, and it was him against Buddy Murphy.
Right.
Which I don't know if they still they probably just call him Murphy because they hate first names. But yeah, I watched him and I liked him a lot, so I think Tony Nese is awesome. But I think Gulak retains. So what do you think, Morton? I know you have extensive knowledge on both these wrestlers, so let me know. Lay it out for me, man.
Whoever has the title now loses it.
That's so left field. You don't even know their names. You're saying they're going to lose the title.
Because they change
Gulak's
the
gonna lose.
titles all the time with the Cruiserweights.
All right, fair enough. All right, so I think he retains. You're saying that he doesn't. One of us is going to be right, Robbie.
And it's going to be me.
Of course. All right, so we're coming down to the final four here. We got championship match. This is the SmackDown Women's Championship. It would appear that the Raw Women's Championship is not being defended. And you can put me on the spot. I have no idea who this is. Oh, never mind. That's the main card. Ha! Sorry, I got ahead of myself, people. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got a lot to say about that match. But let's talk about this one first. So we got Bayley as your champion, still your SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm happy about that. And this is going to be a handicap match. So not really extreme, but it is a different type of match against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And I love Nikki Cross. She's awesome. Alexa Bliss is still, in my opinion, still recovering from an unknown injury that WWE doesn't speculate on. So I think this is a good way to keep her on camera and keep her in front of the crowd and also not have to share the workload as much.
Kind of like when she was the host of WrestleMania.
Exactly. So that's keeping her in front, and now we actually technically have her wrestling, but we know this is Nikki Cross going to take the brunt force of all this.
Yeah.
So my only intrigue with this match, because I honestly think Bayley's going to get the win, is there is going to be some hint, some sniff of, which sounds terrible, I'm sorry, but there's going to be some hint of Sasha Banks. There's going to be some returning Sasha Banks, whether she comes back to even the odds. I can kind of see this as, which is kind of done. It may not happen, but like, what if they go out there and, oh, by the way, this isn't a handicap match anymore, and now it's a tag team match, and then the boss comes out, Sasha Banks. Comes back to a huge pop, and then they put them together. And maybe they win, and then, there's big celebration, and then Sasha Banks turns on Bayley. Nails her, and then we have our Sasha Banks-Bayley going into SummerSlam as their big breakdown, their big fight. I would like if it went that direction. That's my PS Rocket fantasy booking right there.
See, I'm on the same page, just slightly similar. I think Sasha is going to return, but it's going to be at SummerSlam.
Okay, so she's not...
After Bayley wins, she comes in,
Sure.
attacks Bayley, because the hug and boss connection is done with. Bayley said that she's not going back to tag teams for the foreseeable future. So I think that if Sasha does come back, she turns on Bayley. Because they put on good matches. I mean, they really do.
Yeah, I always say the 30-minute Iron Woman match in NXT is probably one of my favorite NXT matches. I don't say that lightly. That was honestly one of my favorite matches. That was, and I don't know if they even did that as like one of their big cards. That might have just been a regular NXT.
I think it was.
And that's still one of my favorites. So I like it, man.
I do go with Bayley retaining.
Okay. It'd be interesting how she would retain. This is a handicap match, so there'd have to be some kind of, it could not be clean. There's no way they can do that clean. So maybe Alexa Bliss turns on Nikki Cross. I mean, it's kind of been laid in there. Like Nikki Cross has kind of been manipulated by Alexa Bliss. I think that's where they go with that. Maybe Nikki Cross gets her redemption.
Or maybe Nikki somehow inadvertently causes Alexa to lose, and then Alexa turns on Nikki.
You know what? I bet you that's exactly how it's going to go down. It'll be Nikki cost and she'll go crazy or something like that and cost it, and then Alexa turns on her, and then it sets up a feud with them. So, hey, I'm okay with that. I think that's probably going to be our most accurate one. I think we actually got that one. All right, so let's go to the singles match. Again, nothing to stream about this one. For the WWE Championship, one of my favorite belts. We have Kofi Kingston, still our champion. Morton, still our champion. We're very happy about that. Against Samoa Joe, which I'm also happy about that too. I've been wanting to see Samoa Joe in the championship picture, and I know he's had little smatters of it here and there over the past couple of years. But this is like a first like legit challenge, and I'm happy for him.
I'm glad that they're going with fresh matches.
Yes.
I'm tired of Kofi versus Dolph Ziggler, Kofi versus Kevin. I'm tired of that. I like the fact that they're going with fresh matches.
And they're bringing in Joe, and I think that's awesome. It's funny. My brother cannot stand Samoa Joe because he's like, man, if he looks at his body and he's like, man, if that guy can be a wrestler, then I could be a wrestler. And it's like, Samoa Joe's never been known for a great physique, okay? I think that's pretty understood, but the dude is like a wrestling machine.
He's a powerhouse.
Yes, he's legit powerhouse, and I think he's solid. So I still think Kofi retains, but I also think it's going to be a good match, and it's going to make them both look good. So, but I think Kofi hangs on to it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think Kofi hangs on.
Now, I will say maybe a little bit down the road, we will see a Samoa Joe champion. I think that would make a lot of people happy. I hope he's saying all the right things to everybody backstage and to give him that chance.
And what I would love to have happen, I go back to WrestleMania, I would love to have Xavier and Big E turn on Kofi and cost him the title.
I promise you that will happen. That has to happen.
And that's going to be the biggest pop when that does.
I'd be a fan of that. It would break my heart because I love the New Day. The New Day, like, it was one of the reasons I got so reinterested in wrestling and got more passionate about it because I loved them. They were entertaining. They were funny. They have Bootio cereal. Like, come on, what other?
100% of positivity, it will make you bootylicious.
Exactly. So I love it, but I think that would be as big as that is, it needs to be a big move into the turn on them. So we'll see if they go that direction. 3 Village Geeks wants you to go that direction. So please do that, WWE. All right, coming down to the second to last, which I don't think this will be main. I think this has a for sure main event, but this will probably be the one before it. So we have The Undertaker. Man, when's the last time we saw an Undertaker on a card? Like a normal card, not like a Saudi Arabia card. That's
WrestleMania.
Yeah. It was rhetorical, Martin. I wasn't actually looking for an answer.
Sarcasm.
We got The Undertaker and Roman Reigns going up. Oh, my gosh.
One of your favorites of all time. Say it with me. The best in the world.
This physically hurts me to even say his name. That's how much anger I have towards Shane McMahon.
It's not just Shane McMahon. It's the best in the world.
The best in the world at being a biggest pain in my ass. So we have Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Vince McMahon's son and Drew McIntyre. So this is a no holds barred tag team match. So I like that. I'm not hot for a Shane McMahon match, but if we get a no holds barred element, then okay, now we got a little bit of intrigue. So we got to look at it like this.
The glorified stuntman's going to do a stunt.
So there is going to be a big Shane McMahon stunt. That is a staple with Shane McMahon matches. So there is going to be some big spot that he is going to do. He's going to jump off a cloud and land in, just like in Assassin's Creed. He's going to jump off the top of a building and land in a haystack. The thing is, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, they are going to be the workload on this. They are going to be in the majority of the matches. Undertaker's inclusion in this match, I think, is going to be very minimal, which is good. I don't want to see Undertaker in a full-time match just yet, and I think this is a good way to hide it.
Especially after the Saudi Arabia match.
Well, and that's where I was going with that is he needs something positive moving forward right now, because right now, if you died the day after, which is horrible, I'm sorry, but if you died the day after that card, you saw literally the worst Undertaker match of all time, and that's sad. And that's not a way I want to remember Taker, which I don't think that's how people are going to remember him.
And the thing is, it wasn't Taker's fault.
No, and I think it was, I want to say it was jointly, because I think it was Goldberg, but it was part Taker. He did the best he could, but obviously Goldberg didn't help. So I think this will be hopefully a good redemption match, and I want to see Taker come out on top, which I think it will. I want to see Taker and Reigns win, despite having Shane and Drew maybe dominate most of the match, which I think what will happen. I think it'll be a lot of, especially with no holds barred, I think it'll be a lot of weapons. We might even see some color, maybe get some blood. But I think ultimately Reigns gets the win. Reigns pins Drew. Because I don't think he wants to pin Shane, because we all know the rumors that they're maybe thinking putting the belt on Shane or making Shane this champion. I see that, and I don't know if that's just fan rumors or maybe there's something legit to that. I don't know. But I think Taker has to win. He has to look good. He has to come in for his spots and then somehow get incapacitated, and Reigns needs to finish it off. But Taker needs to look good in this, and I think that's going to be the focus for all of them.
I disagree. I'm going to give it to McIntyre. I think McIntyre pins Taker, and then that sets up SummerSlam. Taker versus McIntyre.
Okay, I thought you were going to say sets up WrestleMania. I was going to say, man, that's super early to be setting that up.
No, that sets up SummerSlam.
Okay, we're almost full back into Taker being a full-time wrestler now then, because that's going to be 3 pay-per-views in a row he's a part of.
Well,
poor guy.
And this is what we were talking about just a moment ago. I don't know if we count Saudi Arabia as one of the matches, like one of the pay-per-view matches. Yes, it was on the network.
Yeah.
But I don't. You know what I'm saying?
I try not to count Saudi Arabia as anything, actually. Those cards, I want to just exit them from my mind.
Kind of like Australia, like when they did the matches in Australia.
Super Showdown.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, so I would like to see Reigns pin McIntyre, but if they want to pursue, which I think we heard the rumor of a Taker and Drew McIntyre program, then yeah, I guess that's how you do it, is you get Drew to finish off Claymore kick Taker and get him for the pin.
Yeah, because I think coming up soon, I'm going to have Kevin Owens versus Shane.
Yeah.
I think that's coming up, especially what happened.
Oh, the pipe bomb. Did you see that? Kevin Owens pipe bomb?
Yeah.
And listen, I think that's an overused term, by the way. It's like, just because somebody starts ranting and raving doesn't automatically make it a pipe bomb. I think
they're not the next CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk had the legit pipe bomb where you're like, wow, this is kind of getting uneasy. And I think Owens to a degree was that, but I think you're right. That was big. That was headlines. That was a lot of people started paying attention to that. And I think that's a good ushering into Owens into the top spots. So I'm totally cool with that. But ultimately, I still say Reigns and Taker wins. I think you're going with Vince McMahon's son and Drew McIntyre.
I'll say this for you: the glorified stuntman and McIntyre beat Reigns and Taker.
Okay, that's good. I'll be okay with that. All right, now we got our main event. Oh boy,
this is gonna be a mouthful.
Morton, let me take a nice long breath on this one. This is literally the longest title of a match I think I've ever seen. So here we go. And maybe it's just how it's listed on Wikipedia, but all right, we got hold on, I gotta take a breath. we got the last chance winner takes all mixed tag team Extreme Rules match for both the WWE Universal Championship and WWE Raw Women's Championship. My God, that's a mouthful.
Say that 3 times fast.
Like, how do you got to break that down into what does this all entail? This is a mess. All right. Here's the thing. This might be one of the worst main events that WWE has put on. I'm not looking forward to this because I saw Stomping Ground, and I'm sorry, Baron Corbin, I'm not buying you as a main event. I'm not buying you to lead this card. And now this is going to be the second time that you've main evented a card. Hey, congrats to you, man. But I don't think this is working. I don't like this Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin program that they're putting on.
I'm tired of Baron Corbin in general.
Yes.
I said this on a different podcast. I am tired of Baron Corbin. He has gone on for matches and matches, the same matches, and it's just, I'm tired of him. Yeah. I mean, it was him and Angle. It's been him and Rollins end of last year, beginning of this year, and they've gone at this twice now. I'm tired of Baron Corbin.
Yeah, and it's like it's not even a knock on the guy, and it's not like we don't like you because you're a heel. We just don't like you. We don't like your character. And Baron has the problem is he's not big enough to be intimidating. He's not strong. He's not strong enough or defined enough to be a big, strong, tough guy. And so like that right there physically, it's kind of hard to like have him come off as a heavyweight, like have him come off as a Braun Strowman, which maybe that's a bad example, but. So it's those two, and then it's the Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans. I like Lacey Evans. I think she's a great character. I think she has a great look. She's built like a Charlotte Flair. But like the last time we spoke, she's rough in the ring, man. She's very botchy. I said that before. I said she trips coming into the ring, And I know I'm just a dude sitting here on a podcast, and I'm not a wrestler. I don't know what it takes, but that's fine. I can have my opinions. And I think this is just a train wreck waiting to happen, especially with all the elements put in with Extreme Rules. Maybe they can cover up stuff and use a lot of weapons and have a lot of pizzazz, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But as far as the outcome, I don't see Becky and Seth losing. Becky and Seth are like the WWE power couple right now, man. They are like the hottest, and they are running with their relationship. It would just be a pisser to take it out and say, okay, well, now Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans are the next power couple. It's like, I'm not buying that. So I think this is probably the easiest match to predict, in my opinion. But I'm not looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be a rough main event. Just predicting that it's going to be probably a little trashy.
I 100% agree with you.
I didn't think so, man. I want to try. I want to try to find the diamond in this rough here, but
I may have that for you.
Okay, go ahead.
And this is just because on WWE, they've posted videos of Ronda Rousey thinking about wrestling again. Okay. So I'm thinking that after this match, Ronda comes in, attacks Becky, and that sets up SummerSlam.
So just Becky and Ronda back at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and Ronda gets revenge for her first loss.
All right, fair enough. She'll probably get the belt too. Why not? So. Yeah. Ronda Rousey's the Brock Lesnar of WWE. Just put the belt on him, even though it doesn't make any sense, but sure.
All right, well, let me ask you this.
All right.
Because this is going to be the last match for the foreseeable future with Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin. Mm-hmm. Where do you think, because we both think that Seth's going to retain the title, where do you think Seth goes after that?
If he retains, then yeah, you got to probably slip Brock back in there. I said this a couple podcasts ago that I still think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will make some kind of impression and maybe start challenging for that belt. I think we just spoke about Kevin Owens. I think he'd be an awesome fix in there. I'm not sure where he's at right now, like SmackDown or Raw.
I think he's on SmackDown.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe not then.
I think Sami's on Raw and Kevin's on Smack.
Okay. So I would say if Sami's on Raw, then I would say he's probably next up. I can see him making an argument to go there. But then like I said, you always got Brock Lesnar. He's still got the money in the bank. My brother called me actually today and he's like, do you think Brock's going to cash in? I'm like, one, it's kind of expensive to have Brock on TV. He's got a very limited contract. You can't show him that many times. So I don't think a cash in at Extreme Rules, it's probably not the right pay-per-view to do it. I think it'd be
one of the big four.
Yeah, I would see it one of the big four. Now, it's not to say that the cash-ins have never happened outside of the big four. Obviously, they've happened randomly. Or like WWE would try to make you believe that they happen randomly.
There's been some where they've been cashed in on Raw. There was a couple that I think Edge cashed in at, what was it, Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, there you go. So I think there's an element of randomness to it. But to answer this question, will Brock do a cash-in? Probably not. They may tease it or they may mention it. I got to see how the commentary goes. That's another big one. Is because like they don't know they'll try to be subtle about it, but Michael Cole will be he might let it slip and be like, oh well, Brock's waiting in the wings to cash in that Money in the Bank. So it'd be cool if he tried to do it and Becky Lynch stopped him. I don't know how that would work, but that'd be kind of cool. Like he tries to go in it and maybe she gets his nuts or something.
Well, it's gonna be interesting for Brock Lesnar in the foreseeable future because we all know that Paul Heyman is going to be more active in the behind the scenes stages of Raw.
Yeah.
And Eric Bischoff's going to be more active behind SmackDown.
Yeah.
And from what I read online, they are reporting directly to Vince McMahon.
That's great. Well, that's worked now for the past 30 years, so yeah.
So I think with that aspect added to it, I think, in my opinion, if Brock cashes in, I agree with you, I think it's one of the big four. It's either going to be a Survivor Series or SummerSlam. And given the fact that they're trying to push this new change, because I like how Corey Graves dropped a holy bleep last week, because I think that they're trying to go in a new direction, and that may help them.
Yeah, I don't think it could hurt him. I mean, ratings have been down and quality of pay-per-views have kind of struggled. So I think this is a good change that they would need. So I'm on board with it. So there you have it, guys. That is the WWE 2019 Extreme Rules. Not a whole lot of Extreme Rules matches in there, but in there. I think it's going to be a good card and a terrible main event. That's my prediction. I think it's good matches in there, but that main event is going to be trash.
I think this has the potential to set up for future pay-per-views.
Good. It's a good transition pay-per-view, I guess is what you're saying. All right, so you heard it here first. Y'all go check it out. Maybe we'll have a follow-up for it. I don't know. We'll see if we can maybe squeeze one in. But, like I said, I think it's going to be a solid card with matches, and then you're going to go to bed very sad because the main event's going to struggle. So y'all enjoy it. Y'all watch it. And hopefully you'll hear back from us, and we'll let you know about it.